Hi everybody, welcome back to Yehusha's Glory. We're actually working through the book of Jasher right now. Last time we were together, we were talking about the Tower of Babel and the size and how it was being built. We're still talking about that, I suppose. And we have a description of the tower, talking about it was 3 days walk all the way around it. And just the thing was huge. A third of it got burned at the top by Father's consuming fire, and then the middle third of it is still visible to this day, and then the third that was at the bottom of the tower, the earth actually opened up and swallowed it. So they talked about how when you walked up to the top of it to give bricks to the guys that were working to build this thing, the trip from the bottom to the top was a 1-year trek. It took 1 year to get up there. So we're looking at something that's as huge and past the clouds as you can imagine. So whatever's left right now of it, the middle third, it probably looks like a mountain to this day. And so you could probably find it if you looked for it. Anyway, we're going to pick up right here on the next lesson. We're chapter 10, page 315 in the Sefer. Here we go. And Peleg, the son of Eber, died in those days, in the 48th year of the life of Abram, son of Terach, and all the days of Peleg were 239 years. And when Yehusha had scattered the sons of men on account of their sin at the tower, behold, they spread forth into many divisions, and all the sons of men were dispersed into the four corners of the earth. And all the families became each according to its language, its land, or its city. And the sons of men built many cities according to their families in all the places where they went, and throughout the earth where Yehusha had scattered them. And some of them built cities in places from which they were afterward extirpated, and they called these cities after their own names, or the names of their children, or after their particular occurrences. And the sons of Japheth, the son of Noah, went and built themselves cities in the places where they were scattered, and they called all their cities after their names. And the sons of Japheth were divided upon the face of the earth into many divisions and languages, and these are the sons of Japheth according to their families: Gimmer, Magog, Madai, Yavin, Tubal, Meshech, Thirach. These are the children of Japheth according to their generations, and the children of Gimmer according to their cities were the Frankum, who dwell in the land of Franza, by the river Franza, by the river Senah. And the children of Riphath are the Bartonim, who dwell in the land of Bartonia, by the river Leda, which empties its waters into the great sea Gihon, that is Oceanus. And the children of Togarmah are 10 families, and these are their names: Buzar, Parzunak, Balgar, Elicanim, Ragbib, Tarki, Bid, Zevach, Ongal, and Tilmaz. All these spread and rested in the north and built themselves cities, and they called their cities after their own names. Those are they who abide by the rivers Hithlah and Italak unto this day. But the families of Angoli, Balgar, and Parzunak, they dwell by the great river Dubni, and the names of their cities are also according to their own names. And the children of Yavan are the Yavanim, who dwell in the land of Macedonia. And the children of Madai are the Oralim, that dwell in the land of Kherson. And the children of Tubal are those that dwell in the land of Tuscana, by the river Pashaya. And the children of Meshech are the Shivnashnai. And the children of Thirach are Rushash, Kushni, and Ognalis. All these went and built themselves cities. Those are the cities that are situate by the sea Uvak, by the river Kura, which empties itself in the river Tragan. And the children of Elisha are the Almayim, and they also went and built themselves cities. Those are the cities situate between the mountains of Ayav and Shivathmo. And I'm not misreading this, by the way, folks. He says those are the cities situate. You would think it would say those are the cities situated. It just simply says situate right here, and it's repeating itself that way. So I'm reading it exactly the way it's written. So anyhow, those are the cities situate between the mountains of Ayav and Shivathmo, and of them were the people of Lombardy, who dwell opposite the mountains of Ayav and Shivathmo. And they conquered the land of Italia and remained there until this day. And the children of Kittaim and the Romaim, who dwell in the valley of Canopia by the river Tibro. And the children of Dodanim are those who dwell in the cities of the sea, Gishon, in the land of Bordna. These are the families of the children of Japheth according to their cities and languages, when they were scattered after the tower, and they called their cities after their names and occurrences. And these are the names of all their cities according to their families, which they built in those days after the tower. And the children of Ham were Cush, Mitzrayim, Put, and Canaan, according to their generations and cities. All these went and built themselves cities as they found fit places for them, and they called their cities after the names of their fathers, Cush, Mitzrayim, Put, and Canaan. And the children of Mitzrayim are the Ludi, Anamim, Lehavim, Naphtukim, Pathrusim, Kaklukim, and Kaphtorim, 7 families. All these dwell by the river Shaikur, that is the brook of Mitzrayim, and they built themselves cities and called them after their own names. And the children of Pathrock and Kakluk intermarried together, and from them went forth the Pelishtim, and Gazathim, and the Gerarim, the Gittaim, and the Ekronim. In all 5 families, these also built themselves cities, and they called their cities after the names of their fathers unto this day. And the children of Canaan also built themselves cities, and they called their cities after their names, 11 cities, and others without number. And 4 men from the family of Ham went to the land of the plain. These are the names of the 4 men: Sedom, Amorah, Admah, and Sevoim. And these men built themselves 4 cities in the land of the plain, and they called the names of their cities after their own names. And they and their children, and all belonging to them, dwelt in those cities, and they were fruitful, and multiplied greatly, and dwelt peaceably. And Seir, the son of Huri, son of Shivi, son of Canaan, went and found a valley opposite to Mount Paran, and he built a city there, and he and his 7 sons and his household dwelt there. And he called the city which he built Seir, according to his name, that in the land of Seir unto this day. That is the land of the Seir until this day. Verse 29. These are the families of the children of Ham, according to their languages and cities, when they were scattered to their countries after the tower. And some of the children of Shem, son of Noah, father of all the children of Eber, also went and built themselves cities in the places wherein they were scattered. And they called their cities after their names. And the sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Arpachshad, Ludi, and Aram. And they built themselves cities and called the names of all their cities after their names. And Asher, son of Shem, and his children and household went forth at that time, a very large body of them, and they went to a distant land that they found, and they met with a very extensive valley in the land that they went to, and they built themselves 4 cities, and they called them after their own names and occurrences. And these are the names of the cities which the children of Asher built: Nineveh, Resen, Calach, Rechovath. And the children of Asher dwelt there until this day. And the children of Aram also went and built themselves a city, and they called the name of the city Uz, after their eldest brother, and they dwell therein. That is the land of Uz to this day. And in the 2nd year after the tower a man from the house of Asher, whose name was Bela, went from the land of Nineveh to sojourn with his household wherever he could find a place, and they came until opposite the cities of the plain against Sedom, and they dwelt there. And the man rose up and built there a small city, and called its name Bela, after his name, that is, the land of Soar, until this day. And these are the families of the children of Shem, according to their language and cities, after they were scattered upon the earth after the tower. And every kingdom, city, and family of the families of the children of Noah built themselves many cities after this, and they established governments in all their cities in order to be regulated by their orders. So did all the families of the children of Noah forever. And there's a side note here in the book. Nimrod's wicked reign. The idolatry of Terach, Abram's father. When 50 years old, Abram returns to his father's house and discovers his idols. Makes a pretext to destroy them. After making savory meat for the Elohim, Abram takes a hatchet and destroys them, leaving the hatchet in the hands of the larger one, where it is discovered by his father, who is told by Abram that the great Elohim had risen up in anger and destroyed his fellows. Terach, in his wrath, betrays Abram to the king, who brings him up before the throne for judgment. Abram warns his father and the king before all the princes of the evils of idolatry. So he saw all the idols, and he broke them all and then put the axe in the hand of one of the fake idols. So anyway, so chapter 11, here we go. And Nimrod is page 317 in the Sefer 11. And Nimrod, son of Cush, was still in the land of Shinar, and he reigned over it and dwelt there, and he built cities in the land of Shinar. And these are the names of the 4 cities which he built, and he called their names after the occurrences that happened to them in the building of the tower. And he called the first Babel, saying, because Yahuwah there confounded the language of the whole earth. And the name of the second he called Erech, because from there Elohim dispersed them. And the third he called Akkad, saying, there was a great battle at that place. And the fourth he called Calneh, because his princes and mighty men were consumed there, and they vexed Yahuwah. They rebelled and transgressed against him. And when Nimrod had built these cities in the land of Shinar, he placed in them the remainder of his people, his princes and his mighty men that were left in his kingdom. And Nimrod dwelt in Babel, and he there renewed his reign over the rest of his subjects, and he reigned securely. And the subjects and princes of Nimrod called his name Amraphel, saying that at the tower his princes and men fell through his means. And notwithstanding this, Nimrod did not return to Yahuwah, and he continued in wickedness and teaching wickedness to the sons of men. And Mardon, his son, was worse than his father, and continued to add to the abominations of his father. And he caused the sons of men to sin. Therefore it is said, from the wicked goes forth wickedness. At that time there was war between the families of the children of Ham, as they were dwelling in the cities which they had built. And Kedorlaomer, king of Elam, went away from the families of the children of Ham, and he fought with them, and he has subdued them. And he went to the 5 cities of the plain, and he fought against them, and he subdued them, and they were under his control. And they served him 12 years, and they gave him a yearly tax. At that time died Nachor, son of Serug, in the 49th year of the life of Abram, son of Terach. And in the 50th year of the life of Abram, son of Terach, Abram came forth from the house of Noah and went to his father's house. And Abram knew Yahuwah, and he went in his ways and instructions, and Yahuwah Eloahu was with him. And Terach, his father, was in those days still captain of the host of King Nimrod, and he still followed strange Elohim, small e. And Abram came to his father's house and saw 12 Elohim standing there in their temples. And the anger of Abram was kindled when he saw these images in his father's house. And Abram said, as Yahuwah lives, these images shall not remain in my father's house. So shall Yahuwah, who created me, do unto me, if in 3 days' time I do not break them all. And Abram went from them, and his anger burned within him. And Abram hastened and went from the chamber to his father's outer court, and he found his father sitting in the court, and all his servants with him. And Abram came and sat before him. And Abram asked his father, saying, Father, tell me, where is Elohim, who created heaven and earth, and all the sons of men upon earth, and who created you and me? And Terach answered his son Abram and said, Behold, those who created us are all with us in the house. And Abram said to his father, My Lord, show them to me, I pray you. And Terach brought Abram into the chamber of the inner court, and Abram saw, and behold, the whole room was full of Elohim, small e, of wood and stone, 12 great images, and others less than they without number. And Terach said to his son, Behold, these are they which made all you see upon earth, and which created me and you and all mankind. And Terach bowed down to his Elohim, small e, and he then went away from them, and Abram his son went away with him. And when Abram had gone from them, he went to his mother and sat before her, and said to his mother, Behold, my father has shown me those who made heaven and earth and all the sons of men. Now therefore hasten and fetch a kid from the flock, and make of it savory meat, that I may bring it to my father's Elohim, small e, as an offering for them to eat. Perhaps I may thereby become acceptable to them. And his mother did so, and she fetched a kid and made savory meat thereof, and brought it to Abram. And Abram took the savory meat from his mother and brought it before the father's Elohim, small e. And he drew nigh to them that they might eat. And Terach his father did not know of it. And Abram saw on the day when he was sitting amongst them that they had no voice, no hearing, no motion, and not one of them could stretch forth his hand to eat. And Abram mocked them, and said, Surely the savory meat that I prepared has not pleased them, or perhaps it was too little for them, and for that reason they would not eat. Therefore tomorrow I will prepare fresh savory meat, better and more splendid than this, in order that I may see the result. And it was on the next day that Abram directed his mother concerning the savory meat, and his mother rose and fetched 3 fine kids from the flock. And she made of them some excellent savory meat, such as her son was fond of, and she gave it to her son Abram, and Terach his father did not know of it. And Abram took the savory meat from the mother, and brought it before his father's Elohim, small e, into the chamber, and he came nigh unto them, that they might eat, and he placed it before them. And Abram sat before them all day, thinking perhaps they might eat. And Abram viewed them, and behold, they had neither voices, nor hearing, nor did one of them stretch forth his hand to eat, to the meat to eat. And in the evening of that day, in that house, Abram was clothed with the Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of our Father. And he called out and said, Woe unto my father and this wicked generation, whose hearts are inclined to vanity, who serve these idols of wood and stone, which can neither eat, smell, hear, nor speak, who have mouths without speech, eyes without sight, ears without hearing, hands without feeling, and legs which cannot move. Like them are those that made them, and that trust in them. And when Abram saw all these things, his anger was kindled against his father, and he hastened, and took a hatchet in his hand, and he came unto the chamber of the Elohim, small e, and he broke all his father's Elohim, small e. And when he had done breaking the images, and that's exactly how it's written, when he had done breaking the images, he placed the hatchet in the hand of the greatest Elohim, small e, I guess that's the biggest one, which was there before them, and he went out. And Terach his father came home, for he had heard at the door the sound of the striking of the hatchet. So Terach came into the house to know what this was about. And Terach, Terach, having heard the noise of the hatchet in the room of images, ran to the room to the images, and he met Abram going out. And Terach entered the room and found all the idols fallen down and broken, and the hatchet in the hand of the largest, which was not broken. And the savory meat which Abram his son had made was still before them. And when Terach saw this, his anger was greatly kindled, and he hastened and went from the room to Abram. And he found Abram his son still sitting in the house, and he said to him, What is this work you have done to my Elohim, small e? And Abram answered Terach his father, and he said, Not so, my lord, for I brought savory meat before them, and when I came nigh to them with the meat, that they might eat, they all at once stretched forth their hands to eat. before the great one had put forth his hand to eat. And the large one saw their works that they did before him, and his anger was violently kindled against them. And he went and took the hatchet that was in the house, and came to them and broke them all. And behold, the hatchet is yet in his hand, as you see. And Terach's anger was kindled against his son Abram when he spoke this. And Terach said to Abram his son in his anger, "What is this tale that you have told? You speak lies to me. Is there in these Elohim's ruach, soul or power to do all you have told me? Are they not wood and stone, and have I not myself made them? And can you speak such lies, saying that the large Elohim that was with them smote them? It is you that did place the hatchet in his hands, and then say he smote them all." And Abram answered his father and said to him, "And how can you then serve these idols, in whom there is no power to do anything? Can those idols in which you trust deliver you? Can they hear your prayers when you call upon them? Can they deliver you from the hands of your enemies? Or will they fight your battles for you against your enemies, that you should serve wood and stone, which can neither speak nor hear? And now surely it is not good for you, nor the sons of men that are connected with you, to do these things. And are you so silly, so foolish, or so short of understanding, that you will serve wood and stone and do after this manner? And forget Yahuwah Elohim, who made heaven and earth, and who created you in the earth, and thereby bring a great evil upon your souls in this matter, by serving stone and wood." So he's asking the question, did not our fathers in days of old sin in this matter? And Yahuwah Elohim, of course this is uppercase, talking about our Father in heaven, of the universe, brought the waters of the flood upon them and destroyed the whole earth. And how can you continue to do this and serve Elohim, small e, of wood and stone, who cannot hear or speak or deliver you from oppression, thereby bringing down the anger of the Elohim of the universe upon you? Now therefore, my father, refrain from this, and bring not evil upon your soul and the souls of your household. And Abram hastened and sprang from before his father, and took the hatchet from his father's largest idol, with which Abram broke it, and ran away. And Terach, seeing all that Abram had done, hastened to go from his house. And he went to the king, and he came before Nimrod, and stood before him, and he bowed down to the king. And the king said, "What do you want?" And he said, "I beseech you, my lord, to hear me. Now 50 years back a child was born to me, and thus has he done to my Elohim, small e, and thus has he spoken. And now therefore, my lord and king, send for him, that he may come before you and judge him according to the law, that we may be delivered from his evil." And the king sent 3 men of his servants, and they went and brought Abram before the king. And Nimrod and all his princes and servants were that day sitting before him, and Terach sat also before them. And the king said to Abram, "What is this that you have done to your father and to his Elohim, small e?" And Abram answered the king in the words that he spoke to his father. And he said, "The large Elohim that was with them in the house did to them what you have heard." And the king said to Abram, "Had they power to speak and eat and do as you have said?" And Abram answered the king, saying, "And if there be no power in them, why do you serve them and cause the sons of men to err through your follies? Do you imagine that they can deliver you or do anything small or great, that you should serve them? And why will you not sense the Elohim, capital E, of the whole universe, who created you, and in whose power it is to kill and keep alive? O foolish, simple, and ignorant king, woe unto you forever! I thought you would teach your servants the upright way, but you have not done this, but have filled the whole earth with your sins and the sins of the people who have followed your ways. Do you not know, or have you not heard, that this evil which you do, our ancestors sinned therein in days of old, and the eternal Elohim, capital E, brought the waters of the flood upon them and destroyed them all, and also destroyed the whole earth on their account? And will you and your people rise up now and do like unto this work, in order to bring down the anger of Yahuwah Elohim of the universe, and to bring evil upon you and the whole earth? Now therefore put away this evil deed which you do, and serve the Elohim of the universe, as your soul is in his hands, and then it will be well with you. And if your wicked heart will not hearken to my words, to cause you to forsake your evil ways and to serve the eternal Elohim, capital E. Then will you die in shame in the latter days, you, your people, and all who are connected with you, hearing the words or walking in your evil ways. And when Abram had ceased speaking before the king and princes, Abram lifted up his eyes to the heavens, and he said, Yahuwah sees all the wicked, and he will judge them. So now here's a side note. Abram is placed in prison and is condemned after 10 days to be cast into a fiery furnace. His brother Haran, being falsely accused, is condemned to the same fate. As Haran's heart was not right before Yahuwah, he perished. But Abram is delivered and is brought forth alive, is presented with many gifts. The king dreams of Abram and again seeks his life. Abram flees to the house of Noah. All right, so we've got Abram approaching King Nimrod and telling him, I'm going to do these videos a little bit shorter so that you don't, so that you can watch a little bit, go to the next one. I'm going to cut this one off right here. We'll pick up in the next lesson on chapter 12. I'm going to write in the book here, next lesson, so I know where to start out at. And I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed bringing it to you. We're on page 320 of the Sefer, chapter 12 in the book of Jasher. We will be back. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put the comments down below. And like and subscribe to the videos so that you can keep track of when the new videos come up. If you have any questions, obviously, I'd be more than glad to try to answer them. May Yahuwah's power and blessings be with you. I ask in Yehusha's name. Thanks for watching Yehusha's Glory. We'll see you next time.